What's up, y'all? This your boy Scott Lewis, Apartment Gamer, and more here with John. Everything BK, Brooklyn Nets. What's up, John?
Hey Scott, good to be here. We're already over 10 games through the season. Feels like it's been a month already when we're barely through the first real month, but a lot has happened, that's for sure. But the good thing is in the last week, 2 weeks about, Diego and Drake Power are finally getting the minutes that they've earned, and hopefully Danny Wolf will eventually get those minutes. But for right now, it's about Yegor, Powell, and Noah Clowney, those three in particular, who are starting to show us signs of the development that we need to see in order to see if they truly are part of the core of the future. And I think we're seeing some good things, in the last few games for sure.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was worried that Jordy wasn't going to play the rookies, man. I was like, what's going on?
Oh man.
I am kind of excited to see Wolf play. That's what that's another thing.
He could have played the other day, but 2 minutes. I mean, it is insane. And his excuse was Noah Clowney has more experience. Clowney was a starter.
Yeah,
Wolf would have been a bench guy, so that
yeah,
excuse is total BS. It's just you didn't want to play him. Admit it,
yeah,
Jordy. You want to win. You don't want to develop. Listen, I think Jordy's a good coach, but he's not a developmental coach. Whatever Yegor Power are doing, they're earning their minutes. They're showing the skill sets that they
yeah,
were
yeah.
drafted for and improving on certain weaknesses. So I give them the credit more than I'd give Jordy the credit because Jordy's still starting Terrence Mann for every weird reason, and that's not really yielding positive results. And then yesterday, this is an interesting thing. Tyrese Martin, Jalen Wilson, and somebody else, their rebounding numbers were horrible. I think they had
Yeah.
no, it's Terrence Mann, Wilson, and Martin. Their rebounding numbers like 3 to 4 rebounds. And I'm like, you couldn't find 13, 15 minutes for Danny Wolf to help you rebound? That was
Yeah,
what was so upsetting yesterday because we definitely could have used Wolf against the Raptors, at least for some rebounding, at least for some playmaking, and you give him 2 minutes. I
yeah,
thought that
yeah,
was a failure on Jordy's part for that last game, for
yeah. I
sure.
thought that was bad too. I didn't. Yeah, they need minutes, man. They need minutes. I don't see what Jordy's doing, but they definitely need the minutes. Do you think Jordy gonna make it through the season?
Basically, you see the first 10 games. For us, it's been a month. For him, it's been a year. It's been a struggle because this guy clearly wants to win. We get that, but this year you got to get that top franchise guy next year's draft. And I think we're in a decent spot right now. We're
Yeah, we
tied for the
are.
worst record with the Pacers and Wizards, and we
Yep,
face the Wizards in a few games. So
yep.
that's definitely going to be a game that could really have implications on where we're drafting. So we're in a decent spot there. I'm happy that Yegor is the starting point guard now. I know people want to experiment with the wing thing, but he didn't look comfortable being a wing. He is more set being a point guard that could play make, and he did have 5 assists the other game, which was the
Yeah,
most on the team. So his playmaking is coming through. His confidence in the last game was amazing. In the first half, he was almost perfect. Three
right.
from three, one from one with another mid-range attempt. Like his confidence is building really well. He's getting more confident interior, and his confidence from three is amazing. I think Yegor is going to make a case to be part of that 3 point All Star game. I mean, Scott, he set a new rookie record for Brooklyn with
What?
19 made threes. Yes, it's a franchise record
Yeah,
in his
yeah,
first 10 games. So that is what we wanted to see. Put yourself in those accolade conversations, and Diego just set a record.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
go. Like, this is
Yeah,
what we
you was
wanted to
talking
see.
about that. I mean, I gotta admit, John, you was
Mhm.
dead right on that about accolades.
I'm telling you, Scott, and people, we want Breezy show. Breezy, I know he's not a doctor, but he was saying, we got to sit Diego, that plantar thing, it's going to hurt him. It's like, calm down. If you look at what he's doing with steals, playmaking, rebounding, his offense is getting better. Now he's getting to double digits. It will come with some patience, but let the guy get minutes. I'm not going to sit here and watch the Tyrese Martin, Terrence Mann, Jalen Wilson fiasco. I want to watch the rookies develop, so I'm glad that I'm
well,
justified
well, well,
in
they have a
believing
purpose
Diego.
too. You know, they got a
Yeah, but to see
purpose.
them play over the rookies, I wasn't there, and I was
No,
telling
I
people just
wouldn't
be
play him over the
patient.
rookies though.
Just
No,
be patient with Yegor. Like that was my big thing, and he's starting to show through right now, which is good for him.
yeah,
And
yeah, he's gonna run. You know, the thing about the rookies, and this is the thing about the NBA is, I don't think you can even try to practice enough to run into that NBA wall that these rookies gonna run. All of them gonna run into it because there's a lot of games, man. You gotta admit it's a lot of games, so they gonna feel it. So this is where Terrence Mann and the rest of the guys know. They already know, man. They already know what to expect. So they're necessary for these rookies, and they can ask them questions. You got to have vets on the team, but you got to play them. You got to play the rookies too. You know.
Right, and we've looked a lot better playing the rookies. Clowney, that game against the Raptors,
Right.
best physical game by far. The fake three into the dunk, multiple times getting to the free throw line. His free throw scoring is really impressive. He was knocked down a lot of threes, but his interior game is getting so much better. He can dribble. It's crazy in the first 2 games. It looked like you just let him steal the ball from him. Like, we saw you dribble well in preseason. Now to see him actually dribble the interior, not be afraid of contact, that's the next level for Noah Clowney. So I thought Clowney and Yegor in that game against the Raptors took great steps in their progression. Drake
Yeah.
Powell, more of a facilitator. He still had a few three-point shots. He just wasn't running the offense. And that was my problem with playing some of these vets is I saw an opportunity where Terrence Mann caught a rebound. Drake
Right.
Powell was right in the middle, ready to knock down a three, but he gives it to Wilson to knock down. It's like, I get it. You want to get your vet guy an opportunity, but it's like Powell's right there for the three, and I'm a little worried that some of these vets are not prioritizing implementing the rookies enough. And I think Drake Powell, there is untapped potential on the offensive side. Like, he's doing a good job facilitating. It was a little shaky last night, but he's been showing you he can facilitate. But it's like Powell could be a part of a lot more of our offensive sets because he has athletic ability. He can go to the rim. And I feel like for JORDE, he's got to set more plays to utilize that. You got to bring that out of Drake Powell. Not just have him sit in the corner, shoot some threes, dish some assists. Like, this guy is a pest on defense. But offensively, there's a lot more untapped potential there. And I think he should be the starting two guard aside Yegor. I think the Terrence Mann stuff, it's not working. Mann can build up his value playing limited minutes off the bench. Like, I agree with you, Scott. He can help these young guys with his experience, but he's
Right.
not building up his value being a starter. I think for JORDE, we're still going through the ebbs and flows of him fully embracing this. He's still
Yeah.
starting Terrence Mann. Once he puts him to the bench and starts Powell, I am fully confident that JORDE is kind of turning over a new leaf, but he's still fighting it in many ways. You can see with the minutes disparity, not playing Wolf, playing, Mann and Wilson more minutes than them. It's like, JORDE,
Yeah.
you're doing well giving Yegor and Powell that trust. Keep it going. Don't keep putting yourself in a corner because if he does that, it's going to be worse of an experience for JORDE because this is a true experience for him. He's not used to losing like this a lot. This guy is a winner, but this is an experience he has to go through to really prove he is the coach of the future for Brooklyn, that he could truly develop young guys. And I think for Yegor and Powell, just him trusting them lets them play their game better. And I think
Yeah.
he needs to
Yeah.
do that more with Wolf and maybe some of the other guys. But I know Nolan and Saraf definitely need more development in the G League. But Wolf, I think he's ready. It's just JORDE had a missed opportunity there. And Dayron's injury ain't too bad either. It's not a hamstring. It's just a glute contusion. So
Right.
more
Right.
than
He's day
likely,
to
Wolf
day.
will be back
He's
in the
day.
G League soon,
Yeah. He's
unfortunately.
day to day. What you think? How you think Dayron's been playing this season so far?
He's been all right. I think his rebounding still his greatest power. He hasn't really. He's still getting in foul trouble a lot. That is the biggest thing
Yeah.
preventing Dayron from being a legit starter. Is he's a foul baiter and he's a great backup. And I keep telling people this, like him and Zaire, like they are solid bench guys for us, but they have values in the NBA right now. They're each only making $6 million, and their contract is only $12 million total. So it's like Dayron definitely has value in the NBA. There are teams at the trade deadline could look for him to be their backup center, and they might give the Nets something for him. I don't want to give Dayron up, but if you're willing to give me a decent offer, I got to hear it out. And Wolf is in the background waiting to get an opportunity. I truly feel like, Scott, one of Claxton or Dayron has to go by the deadline to fully give Wolf that shot because he's not going to get it with Dayron and Claxton right
You
now. And then
think
Jordy said as much last night by not playing him
you think
because
JORDE
of
got
that.
that much confidence in Wolf right now?
No, because he brings
Yeah.
up the experience thing. He doesn't know Wolf's game, but we've seen it in the G League and in preseason. He's a point center, which is unique. We've never had a point center. You look at Sabonis and Sengun. Those are the two guys I think are most comparable to a guy like Danny Wolf, a guy that can dribble the ball, a guy that's working on the 3-point shot. Look at Sengun right now; that guy's shooting threes like nobody's business, and that was a huge weakness of his. Like Wolf is part of that prototype of a future big. He's not really a forward or center, but he's could be both in a positionless style where he can distribute the ball, he could play make, and he can impact offense a variety of ways. He already does more offensively than both Dayron and Claxton can do. And
Right,
that's why
right.
his opportunity will come in the future if one of those two guys goes. It's unfortunate, but Wolf needs the time and to really show what he can do. But Jordy, like I just said, he's not trusting him. And I think once he does, think about this. Yegor, Powell, and Wolf, if 3 out of 5 of your draft picks can become rotation guys, you won this draft. It wasn't a
Yeah.
great draft by any
My thing
means, but you could win this draft if you invest in
my
those
th-
three guys,
my thing
potentially.
is like if you look at the teams in the NBA, right?
Hmm.
If you really look at them, the top teams can play defense. So they
Right.
players play defense. To me, now this is just early. Like I said, you need to play them to see what they got. But Wolf defensively can be a liability on the court, where Yegor and Yegor is not so much a liability. Nolan is a liability, but I see Wolf a kind of like. I mean, he would be a specialist because of his skill set. But like
Right.
I said, you got to play him. You got to play him to see what he can do. Because I don't know if he can guard a wing in the NBA. Because the wings in the NBA is incredible.
Right, and that's
Incredible.
why this upcoming draft is important because we need a wing at the
That's what
three
I'm
or even the
saying.
four. And if you play Wolf, you're going to need one of those guys to be a big next to him as a forward. So it could work to our advantage if you have two bigs on the court, and Wolf could
Right.
definitely facilitate a lot offensively. The defense is going to take time, but that comes with getting stronger physically, which Wolf and these other young guys have to go through. But even see with Powell, he's definitely farther along than most of our rookies. Yegor will get there eventually. You're seeing a bit more defensive effort from him, so it's like it's going to be a progression. And I get why a lot of people are down on Wolf on the defensive side, but offensively, the guy does way more than Dayron and Claxton can do
Yeah.
right now. And I know Claxton's been better lately, but nothing about Claxton's game has significantly changed. His assist numbers have gone up, and his free throw numbers are the best it's ever been. But he's
Yeah.
been utilizing a lot of the playmakers around him to set him up for lobs or interior plays. It's not like Claxton's just doing this all on his own, which I
Right.
keep telling people. Wolf, he doesn't need a lot of people to do things for him. He sets them up to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
offensive stuff. And I think that's what people got to get their heads around. The bigs in the NBA, they're either special like a Wemby or an AD, or they're somewhere in the middle. Whereas Wolf, he could be somewhere in the middle, which is beneficial to us. It's just he needs the time and development. We're not there yet, but I think once Dayron or Claxton gets traded, Wolf should get called up after his G League stint and get the time allotted. I hope it's not the last 10 games, though, of the season, which I think would be another failure on Jordy's lack of trust. But we're going to get there. I mean, Scott, we're less than a few weeks away from trade deadline beginning, and there's a lot of movement potentially going on. With
Right.
Mavs
Right.
potentially blowing it up, Pistons might want to make a big move. There are teams that are going to make a lot of moves, and we have over $15 million in extra cap space to work with as a third team trade partner. So the Nets are in a great position to do some business this deadline, get more assets, and set their young core up for better minutes, better development, and to set us up for a very important summer where we got to make moves to get back to contending for something. No more just stay out of this to get a top pick. It's next summer. You got to make winning moves to build a winning culture. And
Yeah.
that's going to
Yeah.
be huge for the Brooklyn Nets, but it's how we get there first. And I feel Jordy's not fully there with us yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking at the the actual on X when they were talking about Yegor being put in the starting lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordy was saying that, Yegor has the starting lineup. He had to be cautious with his ramp up. I guess, a thing about his foot must really be a serious thing. But I thought that what Jordy was saying was it was the right time. And I guess he needed a little bit of time to get him revved up so he can be in a starting lineup. I personally think the Nets are trying to do the right thing. right now. So I mean, I think Wolf will get playing time. I don't know how it will work out. I don't know if it's going to be a trade. I don't think anybody can really pinpoint whether the trade is going to happen or not. What you think?
Yeah, for the Nets, it's very interesting. We have a lot of decisions to make in a few weeks once the deadline does begin. Concerning Cam Thomas, his future, Claxton, his trade value is really going up, and I think a
Yeah,
few teams might look for him. Man, I don't know if his value is significantly better, but if teams are dealing with injuries, which I'm seeing a lot of injuries popping up,
that's
he
right.
definitely becomes an asset for different teams. And then MPJ, his stats have been all right, but a lot of people obviously look at it and go, man, this guy's a chucker, and he's also considering semi-retirement. So I feel like next summer he's more of an asset for us to utilize than right now on the trade market because we have to take back a bad contract just to get a pick to get off his contract, which we could do. Collecting picks is fine, but if you get a pick for Claxton, it's almost like save MPJ at that point because you could use him for a way bigger move to make an upgrade deal. And there are definitely a lot of storylines to follow next summer.
Yeah,
One is
yeah.
with John Moran and his future. The Mavs, they might want to break their whole core up. AD is definitely a topic that a lot of people might be interested in if they're looking to contend. So there's definitely going to be a lot of pieces moving. And for the Nets, we're going to be in a great position next summer to have a lot of picks, to have a core six with a potential franchise draft pick. And we're going to have over 30 to $40 million in cap space to utilize. And for this organization, if you get the guy you want in next year's draft, you got to start making the winning habits by building some solid vets around this team to start really winning. Because the vets we have right now, they're not winning vets. They're more so better vets on other teams than for us.
Or
But
they
for next
pieces.
summer,
They more
yeah, but
like pieces on a winning team or whatever the case may
right.
be. Yeah.
But for next summer, the vets you do sign with your cap space, those are the guys you want to push this way forward, like Fred Van Vliet did for the Rockets when he came to that team. Look how much they've changed. Like, if you could find a vet like that that's willing to work with this core six and bring them to the next level, then we are truly back where we should have been a few years ago before we did the three, superstar failed experiment. So I feel like we can get there. It's just Jordy just needs to embrace the rookies more. But I'm just glad to see Yegor's confidence building up. And I don't know if you saw him and Sarah Kustak's had an interview. He said Brooklyn was his number one team, that he manifested it after a training workout with them, saying, I'll be back. And they remembered that from him. And he remembered that. But it's like, that's what I wanted, Scott. I told you beginning of the season, I want to find the next Brooklyn Nets that want to be here, that aren't just looking to pat stats and get paid, but genuinely want to be part of the future. And Yegor, from what he said in the interview and what I've seen the last few games, he wants to be here. So I'm glad he's developing. And it did take some time with the injury, but this guy is just getting more confident out there, and that's what we need. So I'm very happy Yegor wants to be part of Brooklyn's future. It's just
Is it
everybody else
is
got to show
Jaeger
that type of fight.
is Jaeger saving Sean's job?
No, Sean Marks got to go like 10 years ago, bro. Like, listen. Listen. We'll give it to Sean Marks. You can recycle draft picks, but you can't build a winning formula. He has a bad resume where superstars, role players, and Cam Thomas want out of this team, not willing to play his game, and you can't have a GM that can't get players to buy in, Scott, unfortunately. And I know these young kids are going to feel like they owe Sean something, but they don't owe him anything. In fact, you need a GM that's going to build the winning pieces around them. This is a weak East right now, but you look at teams like Pistons on the rise, Magic, like there are going to be some top teams with the Nets in a few years, and you need talent that can compete with that. So we cannot rest on our laurels after next year's draft. You get the guy you want, you got to get some good pieces. And I just don't know if Sean Marks is that guy to build a balanced roster. He's never really built a solid roster. Even when you had the big three, you had aging vets. You had no real center. And the best guy you had, Bruce Brown, you let him go
Right, right.
over Patty Mills. Like, Sean Marks, just his resume is hugely overrated, Scott. It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah. What's up with this guy, Clab Wilson versus
Caleb Wilson, man.
Caleb Wilson?
He is a true dark horse, man. Start watching film on him, and this guy is just really impressive. Like, we see the Bonsa, Peterson, and Boozer as the top three, the creme de la creme. But man, Caleb Wilson, you look at his skill set, it feels like he has a skill set from the Bonsa, from Boozer, and Peterson with how he scores, with the defense that he plays. Like, this guy plays, honestly, all NBA defense at such a young age, Scott. And he just did that against Kansas, which is where Darren Peterson plays, and he brought it to that team. Like, this guy dies for loose balls. He's bigger than his height. He looks like a
Yeah.
7-footer for a guy that's what
He sure enough
6'11".
do. He do look tall. He
Like
look
this guy
about.
just leaps off the pages, man, which is so impressive.
What is his projection? The top 10?
I would say top 4 right now, but I know Nate Amont is right there with them. Those guys are
Right.
battling for 4 and 5 right now. I know some people look at him as maybe 5 or 6, but man, that'd be a huge mistake. I mean, this top 5 right now is really all about the wings. Besides Peterson,
Yeah, it's a wing.
Dabasa,
It's a wing
Boozer,
draft.
Amont, and Wilson.
It's a
Like,
wings draft,
scary.
boy. This draft is
That's
kind
why
of
you got to get in the top 5, Scott. Even if we get the 5th pick and it's Nate Amont, I'm happy because Nate had another good game tonight. Points, rebounds. Like, if that guy gets stronger, he's going to be a force in the NBA. And to be our first real franchise draft pick potentially, I'd be happy getting Nate Amont. But getting Caleb Wilson, oh man, the potential this guy has, I would be super excited. That might be one of the best summer leagues we'll have coming up with this guy. But you just see the way this guy plays. It's with a mindset, a mentality, an ultra skill set, and just his defense is what's so imposing, really. But just seeing the way this guy, but just seeing the way this guy could dunk as well, like he's got the athleticism of Dabasa in some of the dunks he does. You know, I saw the other day opposing member of Kansas was going for a rebound. He
yeah,
jumps up at the same time and look at that! Look at that!
yeah.
That's like some Shaq stuff right there.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, he looked like he's 7 foot though. I mean, he looked like he's 6'10" though.
He might grow a few. Pause. Like he might. But like this guy has a very unique skill set. Like if
Yeah,
we have the 4th pick, this is the money shot you take with Caleb Wilson and putting him. I don't know if it ruins the thing with Clowney. Maybe you could play him and Clowney at the 3 and 4 and see what happens there. But this guy fits positionless basketball to a T. He could probably guard 1 through 4, even a 5 if he wants. Like this guy would be great for us long term. But Boozer, man, if you ask me who's the best Brooklyn fit, it's Cam Boozer, man. I call him
yeah,
Cam the Bruiser Boozer.
yeah.
Like
I
this
think
guy
so
is just
too.
a machine out there, a tank, a crane, whatever you want to call him. This guy gets this guy gets the
Yeah,
ball in the interior. He's either going to the rim, getting fouled, or he's scoring. Like it is hard to stop a guy that already has all NBA physicality right now, Scott. It's ridiculous what Cam Boozer has already. Like his fathers should
Who
be
do
damn
Cam
proud.
Boozer remind you of, John? That's the
Eh,
question. I mean, he kind of reminds me of. I'm trying to think of who he reminds me of. His game is really tight, though. His game is
If
tight.
if Aaron Gordon was a superstar, it'd be Cam Boozer. I mean, you see what
Right.
Gordon could do from a physicality
I
aspect.
can.
When he
That's
went to that
fair.
Nuggets
That's
team,
fair.
they
Yeah.
changed for the better. Like that guy
Yeah.
just plays a top level as like a star role player, but this guy is superstar worthy. I just the way Boozer is, you could tell even in the locker room this guy's intense. Like this guy would raise Brooklyn tremendously. You know, unfortunately the thing is if he takes the 4 position, Clowney might have to either move to a 3 or be a backup, and that would suck for his development, but there's no way he would start the 4 over Cam Boozer, man.
No,
Boozer
he
would just
couldn't
be ready to
start.
go from the
Yeah,
jump.
you would start. You would start Cam Boozer for sure.
Right. And that's the thing they got to figure out with Clowney. Do we move him to the bench or do we try to convert him to a 3? It really would have to depend on the leap that Clowney takes. And Clowney's
That
on a great
means
trajectory
that
right now.
means
So,
that means Dayron or Clowney might be gone, right?
yeah, I would definitely say Daron has a chance of being traded in a package, you know, if we want to go after a big upgrade, or he gets traded at this deadline, which opens up a role for Wolf. Like this deadline, that's definitely have to make some moves because you want to know the guys that you have going to next summer that are going to be a part of this core 6, and then whoever else you sign that's
Right.
going to be new that they can fit in seamlessly. But Boozer, man, in that front court with us, that would be scary. Like, and you see what Jaeger and Powell could do in the backcourt. Add Boozer, we become stronger athletically, we become more physical, and the height factor wise, then we become a much bigger team. So
Yeah.
I would be very excited to have Cam
But
Boozer. And
Sean would probably need to make another move for a veteran, a
yes,
superstar, some kind
mm,
of star player.
I'm,
He's
I'm
gonna
telling
make that move. I'm telling you. I can feel it in it. That's what he does.
I'm telling you, the Giannis stuff, man, is going to get very spicy. You saw it tonight against the Hornets. Without Giannis, man, this Bucks team did not have a lot to work with. I mean,
No,
Bobby Portis. It's
no.
really Bobby Portis, and that's about it. I
Yeah,
know that Ryan Rollins kid has been doing really well lately. He could be part of their rebuild, but Ryan Rollins is not the guy you want to rely on to carry your team without your best guy. And Giannis has been playing again at a stupendous MVP All NBA level, but it's like they're what 7-4, no 7-5 right now.
yeah,
Like
seven
it's
and
not
five.
that's not good. Like if the Bucks are a middling team by December, which is what I heard was the goalpost for Giannis to evaluate this team, either he asks out this upcoming deadline, which would be crazy and require a team or two to really have to give up a lot to get him, or next summer, which is most likely, Giannis asks out and ends his tenure with the Bucks to go somewhere else. And the Nets could be that team possibly. We've been the most connected to Giannis, and here's the thing: yes, the Knicks and them had discussions. The Knicks do not have the assets to get Giannis without really destroying their core. But he did say he wants to go to New York, and we are in New York, and we're a big market team. So
Yeah, I
Giannis
mean,
with
it's a possibility, but you got to show him something. I don't think he want to be on a team where it's just him. You know.
right, but you see what Yegor Powell could do potentially in that backcourt with him. What you got? Yegor 6'8", you got Powell 6'6", and Giannis, 6+. Like
Right.
that would be a good potential little trio there. And then you have to really address your center position. Could Giannis and Wolf play together? That's something to think about too, because Wolf can run. But you know what the crazy thing is? Wolf is almost like in a way a lesser defensive version of what Brook Lopez was in his prime. But
Yeah.
like Wolf could do a lot more offensively at a young age than Lopez could do. But maybe a Lopez and Giannis front court could be something intriguing. But you have to get a three to work with that. And Clowney, I don't know if you could make that work. Now, here's the perfect case scenario if you did that move. You draft AJ DeBosa and you make the big move for Giannis. Imagine this rotation:
But then you would
Yegor.
have to give up at least two number ones, at
Yeah, but
least two future number ones, unprotected, because they're gonna want that,
right,
and
but
some real estate with that. Wolf
right, but but,
maybe.
but imagine this rotation: Yegor, Powell, DeBosa, Giannis, and Wolf. Ooh.
Oh yeah, that
That
sound
would be
good.
scary. Listen, that'd be scary. Like that would be like a huge way that he would want to come see him. If you get the Bassa, I think Giannis definitely watches film on the young up and comers. He would be psyched to want to be on a team with a guy like that. Like the Bassa is just ultra athletic, can score in a variety of ways. He can score pretty much any way he wants when he's playing
Yeah.
well. Like that would be a way Giannis would want to come in. Like you said, Scott, we'd have to really hit next year's draft out of the park for Giannis to even want to consider coming here. But that's the one star we are connected to. The John Moran thing is interesting, but I agree with a lot of people say this guy has emotional baggage. If he gets upset with what Jordy says to him or how the offense is being run and he has to adjust, can Ja adjust to that? And he also has a bad track record with his health. So that's a guy with a lot of baggage, but I'd be interested to see be part of this team. But you
Yeah.
compare him and Giannis, who
Yeah.
puts you
Yeah.
over more? It'd probably be Giannis. So,
Of course, Giannis would. Of
yeah.
course, you're going to take Giannis. The thing about Ja is that he comes with, like you said, a lot of baggage, but he's box office. I mean, he
Right.
will, but his defense will be a liability.
I agree. And then you also look at with Donovan Mitchell's situation with the Cavs. Listen, the Cavs have a lot of pressure this year. They got to win. They're the only second apron team. And if they don't win within this year or next year, Mitchell has an opt out after 2026 where he can become a free agent in that top three in 2027 free agency. And this is a guy who always said he wanted to come back home to New York. He thought that was with the Knicks. The Knicks had their opportunity. They blew it. Like,
Right.
Mitchell and Brooklyn, man, would be pretty freaking spectacular. I mean, imagine having Yegor run point and have
Yeah.
Mitchell just score. Like that could be fun too in itself. And if we draft a homegrown guy, Mitchell could definitely be a top guy and still do what he does. He's one of the best playoff basketball players in the NBA, so he's definitely somebody to look out for too. Not just Giannis, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if we do make that big move next summer. I think it really depends on getting top four. I would say more so top three. But if
Well,
we don't get that, we'll probably
everybody's
take it a
been
little slower.
crying about this. Lose and get the top five. You be the
Right,
minimum is top five. So I'm
right,
looking at the top five. I mean, you can have the worst record in the league and still just get the top five. That is possible. I
right.
mean, and that would be kind of a downer, you know, to me.
Right. And
I
the biggest
mean,
downer is Boston because, the NBA tends to really look out for them. And if they gave them the boss with Tatum and Brown, I think the whole NBA should boycott that because it's like, why? you have two homegrown stars that we practically gave Boston, and you want to give them the bonus on top of that? That would just be a stab in the heart to every tanking team that actually was doing it right. Because
Yeah.
Boston, they're likely going to just make the play in, and they better not screw around and give them a top pick. Boston should get the fourth or fifth if they want to do them a favor, but don't give them top three like that. Especially with a team like us that are trying to do it right for once. But the Pacers are definitely a team to look out for just because they have Halliburton, they have Pascal. If they get a DeBasa or a Peterson, man, that's scary
Yeah,
because the
yeah.
Pacers have a good coaching staff. They still have a lot of young pieces. They're a team that's definitely didn't expect to tank, but they got their pick back from the Pelicans, which Pelicans, man, is such a stupid move because you gave the Pacers an out there, and then you're going to the West now. Kings, they're definitely going to do a fire sale soon, Scott. They have a lot of names. They have zero defense, and Zach LaVine and Sabonis making a lot of money, but you might have to attach assets to move them, and you also have DeMar. So the Kings are definitely going to do a fire sale soon. They just do not have anything to compete with against the top dogs. And then Memphis, the Ja thing, the Dallas situation, man.
Yeah,
Listen,
that's crazy.
we knew Nico was going to get the can for that crappy deal
But
he
I
did
didn't
with
think it
Adam
was going to
Silver.
happen so
And
soon.
yeah, but you saw the fans, man. They wanted blood. They showed up with caskets to Dallas. The other game where the guy was shooting free throws, Washington, they said fire Nico when they're
But
trying to win a game. They
but
had no choice.
their problem is they got older vets that's injured right now, and it's hurting the team right now. Their
Yeah,
cap is solid. They don't want to go into that tier, and Anthony is hurt, Kyrie's hurt. I mean, it's not looking good. It's
they're
really not looking good.
They're gonna have to call an audible. They got freaking lucky with Cooper, man. But I agree with what NBA people and ESPN are saying. You have Cooper, you got lucky with that. You only have two picks right now, one in next year's historic draft and one in 2031. Their best bet would be to trade Anthony Davis. I don't think they have to trade Kyrie. I think Kyrie, he's signed with them because he still wants to be there. They need somebody to mentor Cooper Flag, but AD's definitely a guy you want to move off of. He's not getting any younger. He's 32 with a lot of injury situation stuff going on there. You want to get back what you can for Anthony Davis before he really does become not a great asset to want to trade with. There are definitely a lot of teams that are
Would you trade
contending.
for Anthony Davis?
If you're Brooklyn,
Yeah.
for one, if the Nets want to make a move to win next year, I think you could go for it because our front court is definitely a huge weakness right now. But the thing is, Anthony Davis is a four. He don't want to be a five, so you'd have to really convert Wolf into that five or see if those two guys could play. Or crazy enough, maybe you keep Claxton. I mean, I think you should trade him, but if you make that Anthony Davis move, maybe Claxton stays, or you trade Claxton for Anthony Davis, which could, force Wolf to really have to be that guy. But I think for the Nets, if they want to take a move nobody's expecting, you could do it. It's just what's the price? Because if the Nets have to give up 3 to 4 picks for Davis, it's like why?
Yeah.
He's very injury prone. We're not trying to win right now. We're trying to win next year. So
Give up
I
what?
would
Give up a
they'd have to
player. I
go
would
for a
give up a.
discount.
I'd give up one pick and a player.
Yeah, but like, who's the play we're going to give up though? Is it going to be MPJ or Claxton? One of them likely would
I
have to
wouldn't
go to
give up
get Davis.
MPJ. I would keep MPJ.
Right. No, they
Uh,
definitely got to make moves, though. I don't think it'll be us. I would be surprised if we did a move like that. But here's a team that I think people should really look out for: the Pistons. They're on an 8-game winning streak. They have a lot of assets to make two big moves. One is to get Laurie Markkinen from Utah, or to get Anthony Davis and form a three-headed monster of Kate Cunningham, Jalen Duran, and Anthony Davis. Scott, if they made that move, I think the Pistons are a legitimate threat to the Knicks and the Cavs if they
yeah.
make that move. If you have a healthy Davis for 16 important playoff games alongside Duran and Cunningham, that's a three-headed monster on paper. So the Pistons are definitely a team a lot of people can look out for. They could go after Davis or Laurie Mark, and Laurie's doing great too right now. So they are a team that has the assets to make a win-now move in the next 2 to 3 months. So that definitely a team to look out for. But yeah, for the Davis thing, it's in the Mavs' best interest to trade him for what they can get. I don't know if Kyrie has that market. I'm hearing rumors about the Rockets and KD want to reunite 7
Yeah, they
but
talking about reuniting,
yeah, yeah,
Detroit.
but they'd have to give up probably Fred VanVleet's contract a lot of their picks, maybe 2 picks, something like that. But if they did that move, that's very interesting because you have 2 top scorers. You have a lot of young defensive pieces in Sangoon. That could definitely put up a big fight against OKC, who are just running away right now
That
with a
mean the
lot.
Mavericks ain't trying to win.
Yeah, I mean, it's their best interest to rebuild right now. It was a failure of what Nico did, and Nico talked about an imaginary 3-year window. The window never happened. Once you lost, Davis played 1 game when he went to Dallas, and he already got hurt. Like, it just has not worked. And then the Kyrie thing took all
Yeah.
the air out of that. So for them, it's rebuild, and I think there's a market for Davis being built right now. And another team, Pelicans, they got Queen and Fears. They definitely have a good thing there with those 2 guys, but they're a horrible team right now. Like they got to trade Zion soon because that team is just they're not going to build anything with that. So I don't know what they're going to do. They don't have their pick, but here's the thing though: they owe the Hawks a pick right now, Scott, and they're just doing so bad in the West. Like the Hawks, if they
So they
let
don't
Trae
have
Young
their pick
go,
next year, right?
no, they gave the Pacers their own pick back,
Oh,
and they
that was
gave they gave the Hawks their own pick. The
wow.
Hawks have their own pick, so if the Hawks let go of Trey, they can draft a potential top 5 franchise star, like which is crazy.
Yeah, that's
But that's the
crazy.
way it was drawn up. But yeah, the Pelicans, the way they're doing, it's definitely not good for us in the tank with the Hawks, who are not really tanking per se, but they have the Pelicans pick, so that's definitely scary. And then there's another team I want to talk about, the Clippers. Scott, man, old age catches up to you, but for the Clippers, it's catching up quick. You heard about the Bradley Beal situation today? A fractured hip. They traded
Wow.
Norman Powell away to get Beal on the cheap, and he only played 6 games and he's out for the season. Like,
The Clippers
man, are
is
they going through it?
yeah, the Clippers just got bad luck.
Nah, man, the Kawhi thing. Apparently, he's got ankle inflammation, and it was a few games. And I'm like, James Harden, man, a guy who is definitely caused a stink when he don't feel like he has backup. This Kawhi injury thing is going on, and now without Beal, what is the offense on the Clippers? You take James Harden out, nobody on that team is doing much. Like the
Yeah.
Clippers are in trouble, but we're in trouble too because guess who has their pick? OKC. And
Oh,
OKC is in first place, and the Clippers are where?
and
Where the
12.
Clippers? Holy jeez! If the OKC gets a top pick next year, Scott, oh my God, the NBA is it's gonna be sick. Like the OKC has so much power. If they got another top guy with what they got right now, it's like, what's the point? Like it's very bad, man. What Sam Presti did, man? 4D chess. I
The
mean, to
only
be able to
thing
have
the only thing about OKC would be that some of the players are going to want to move. They ain't going to want to stay with the Thunder and take a pay cut.
Yeah, but they don't have to worry about that for 2 more years at least. So they still have a
Well,
crazy
yeah,
window, and they have
yeah,
time to
they
think
got
about those
2 years.
moves.
They
Like
they
Sam,
they can be a dynasty.
yeah, scary enough. They could actually create a whole new team by trading away assets with their picks to get better talent on
Yeah,
top of great talent right now. So yeah, it's scary what they're doing. But this Clippers situation makes it scary for us because if the Clippers are our bottom team, the OKC has a chance to get a top 10 pick again, which they shouldn't have. But Presti's just really run the gambit in the NBA. I wouldn't say Presti's rigged it for his advantage, but he's rigged it for his advantage.
well, I mean, personally, like, you didn't expect the Pelicans to be this bad.
I didn't expect him to be great. I can
No,
tell you
I
that
didn't
much.
expect them to be great neither. That's true too.
But yeah, we definitely have a lot of competition for the top 10 right now. We really do. I think for us though, we're doing this the right way. We're pushing some development
Yeah,
forward. Like we should get at least top 5. I'm not talking about get top 3, which we should get, but I'm willing to focus on top 5 right now because we need it desperately to push our team forward. These other teams, you gift Boston, you gift Pacers, you gift hell Dallas another top pick. The NBA, it will definitely cause a stink with the Brooklyn base, man, because we're doing this right, and you're just gift wrapping top talent to teams that don't need it. Like you
right.
gotta give it to the teams that need it, that want to push the product forward. But if you do this favorite crap with Dallas, with Boston, you did to 76ers for how many years and how much talent they've wasted. Like it's got to stop this year. The
Yeah,
Brooklyn
yeah.
Nets have paid their dues. We've been mediocrity for 3+ years, and it
Well,
feels
I
like it's
think
been
we're
another
doing
10
it right.
years.
We're doing it right though.
We have to do it right now. There's no more of this BS that Sean and Joe can create. You've already put us off the deep end. There's nowhere else to go but up from here unless you want us to sink to the deep bottom. Like
Yeah.
seriously.
We got it. We got it. I'm just interested in this Cabler,
Caleb,
Cap,
Caleb, Caleb, Caleb,
Caleb.
Caleb.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Caleb. I am so interested in him. I've been wanting to try to watch his game. I missed this game. I'm gonna catch
man.
the next one though.
This is a scary special draft. I haven't seen a draft this special in a long time. I thought last year's draft was special, but man, you have multiple 6'8", 6'9", 6'10"
It's a lot of
guys in the
wings,
top
man.
six.
It's a
Yeah,
lot
like
of wings.
these are athletes right now. Like, let's talk about a new era in basketball. This is it right here. New era. These
Yeah,
guys are coming in their prime before they even have a chance to hit a prime, which is scary.
yeah. This is good for the
That's
NBA though.
Yeah, that's why going young was at the time for us with trading bridges made a lot of sense because you want to be part of a young, fresh core to build good pieces around that young core if you go after a star. Like you don't want to be the Clippers, middling to old age, just trying to stay upbeat because you have to. You want to be other teams like the Kings who have all the names, but you have no roster balance whatsoever. Like we have a chance to actually build a real product next summer that can at least compete for a play-in nonetheless a playoff spot. Like that's what we need to build for next summer. Like next summer has to be a very active one for us as far as building a team that can actually compete for something next year. And I hope we get that chance, Scott. But we'll be interested to see where we fall on lottery day when that all gets read out for sure.
Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting run. Right now we are what is our record?
One
One
in
in
10,
nine, one in
1 in 10.
nine, one
I
in
think. I
ten.
think it's 1 in 10.
Shit, damn. we, we got we went the opposite direction, boy. Yeah, we are 1 in 10. The Wizards are 1 in 11. So that's gonna be. I'm surprised the Wizards are still in this funk with all this talent, all this draft picks that they make.
Yes, listen, I know the Wizards are taking for a top guy, and if they get Darren Peterson next year, man, that's a guy that will lift them up. I don't know how far he'll take them, but he'll take them somewhere, which is better than where they are right now. And here's another thing: they have over 100 million. This is crazy, Scott. They think they have over $100 million in cap space next summer, which is ridiculous. So they have to get a winning formula next summer with all that money around the young guys, or else they're just going to be a mediocre joke of a team, but they have assets to work with going into next year, and they
Now,
are.
now, if I was a superstar, if I was coming out of college in the top three, and you telling me that the Wizards are gonna draft me, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be kind of tight about that because I know my talent is going to waste. I'm basically going to training camp for 2 or 3 years because the Wizards are not going to trade you.
No, that's true, and you do not want one of these three young stars you draft. Like this is the thing: if the NBA is going to play a part in this, like we don't want to believe things are rigged, but if you're going to play a part, send these young guys to a market where they can elevate to another level. Like Brooklyn, we're sixth right now as a $1 billion organization, which has gone a long way from where we were in Jersey. So it's like we're giving you your capital you want, but you got to reward us with some type of talent to really build a functioning formula. Like if the Nets don't get a top five guy, it's really going to be tough to digest because you're giving these young guys to either teams like Wizards, gifting the Pacers or Boston team. It's like those guys don't need them, and this team is not going to utilize them properly. At least with the Brooklyn Nets, we've shown we can go after the big fish
Right, right.
to try to win something, even though it hasn't worked out for us. But if you give us the opportunity, I think we'll make the most of that.
Yeah,
And we have a guy in Jordan that wants to win so freaking badly. He'll start a Tyrese Martin to do so. Like we're hungry. The Brooklyn base is hungry, Scott, to
yeah,
want to
we are
win.
hungry. We are.
Like really, like we come on here and do content after content when people are like, "Ah, you could just take the whole year off." We can't do that because
Yeah,
we want to be part of this journey to get that top guy to know that this was actually worth something. And if it's not, that's on the NBA, and they got a lot of crap coming their way right now with government officials, with sports gambling. Like they got to wake up and realize we can't just rig it for the teams we like. We got to
right.
spread the wealth to teams that want to make something out of it. And when the Nets are ready to do something like that.
Oh well, it's been interesting to watch my team, the Nets, tank. Which I don't like that word, but I understand why. Hopefully, the rookies will get enough playing time this time this week. You know, Dayron probably Jordy probably just keep Dayron on the bench a game or two, and bring Wolf into the game. So
It'd be nice.
it would be nice to see that. That's what I want to see. As far as Jaeger is concerned, he's doing his thing. I think he's going to be with the team for a good minute. He has that that determination in him that you could
All
tell
right.
he wants to play. And uh, another player, Nolan, that I haven't seen in a while, he's still in the G League, I guess, right?
He's going to be in the G League for a good while. I think until he shows he's confident enough to score a lot, to play make at a high level, and to control the speed that he has, it's
Right,
going to be tough for Jordy to give him an ounce of trust. And I feel bad for the kid because I think he had a lot of Euro experience coming into this. I think a lot of people once thought he'd be a top lottery guy to where he fell to 19, but it's a process. He has to go through it, and I hope he shows a lot of growth this year with his development and that he could make some play some games for us at the end of the year. But I don't think it's going to happen in the immediate or the middle unless there's injuries or something or a big trade that happens. So
right,
he's definitely gonna have to go through the grind, but it'll be good for his development, that's for sure. And Seraph, listen, he's definitely shown something in the G League, that's for sure. But where's his confidence in the pros? If you could do it so easy in the G League, show what we can do with the pros. You have more experience than any of the guys we drafted as far as Euro background goes. And you're showing you have a lot of flaws. So he definitely has to put the pedal to the metal because if we are going to make a big move, Scott, he's a guy I'm throwing in a trade package
right.
to get a top talent. And I'm not throwing Nolan away. I think Nolan has way more in his bag to potentially be part of his team than Seraph does, unless Seraph could drastically change his offensive game and his defensive game. But that's just the way it is right now. But Wolf, he's ready. Wolf had two double-double games. He's probably have a lot of double-double games. It's just when he's going to get the chance to do it in the pros. Like,
Okay.
hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, I think personally, I think Jordy is scared to winning games. That's what it is.
I just think Jordy doesn't want to trust the process unless these guys do something incredible in his eyes. Like I get what Jordy wants to do, but don't use excuses like I didn't play Wolf because Clowney spirits. Clowney was a starter last night. He wasn't off the bench. Like you had ample time to distinguish the minutes. I know Clowney played 35 minutes, but you had 13 minutes to give
Right.
away to a guy like Danny Wolf. But you gave it to the Martins, the Wilsons, and they didn't do a whole lot. So it's like.
Yeah.
Like this is my whole
Hey,
thing. It's
listen.
like
Hey, listen. It got us 1-10, man. it got
That's
us.
true. That is true. That
It
is
got us
true.
1-10. What do you? I
So
mean, you
Tank Command, so Tank Bros. That's what we're gonna call this team, Tank Bros.
the tank bros.
Yo, that's what we call it. That's the new name. Yo, we had Junkyard Squad last year. Now it's the Tank Bros.
Yeah,
I like
they
it.
doing their job. They doing what they supposed to do. They teaching
Yeah,
the young guys how to play a little bit, and
yeah. Nah, but
get
there's definitely tough
getting us
decisions
that
that
number
have,
one pick.
right. But there definitely have some tough decisions to be made in the Cam Thomas situation. I know that's gonna
Yeah,
affect a lot of Cam fans when that decision's made, but
yeah, I'm
there's a
gonna
very
be
high
hurt.
chance. Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
know.
be hurt, man. Not unless Cam said, you know what, I'll sit on the bench. I'll be the sixth man. Then I'll be good with that.
Yeah, but he's still very young in his career, and I think it won't be till he's like 27, 28 that he'll either accept the role he has to take or he'll keep trying. I get it. He wants to get paid, but it's also like you got to do way more than just score. And his playmaking was good for one really good game, but it's still been wildly inconsistent. And the thing is, Brian Lewis and Eric Slater had a conversation on the Locked On Nets podcast. They really haven't heard a lot of good chatter lately. Like there might be a team or two that are interested what they could give back for Cam Thomas, a second round pick. I don't know about any first, but it's like the bar is very low. But here's the interesting thing. The Clippers just lost Brad Beal. They are desperate to get some offense next to Kawhi and James Harden. Scott, I mean, Cam isn't
Do
out.
they have anything that we can use?
They have a 2030 first round draft pick. I know they have a few seconds, but they're seconds that are owed to other teams. So it would be like, what's the point? You'd be basically giving Cam away for nothing. So maybe the Nets could, find a way to get a pick from him, maybe a protected pick, something like that. But I definitely think the Clippers are in a desperate situation where they need scoring. The Beal situation didn't work out. Cam's only making $5 million. I'm not sure what player we take back on that deal, but maybe the Clippers are desperate enough to give one of their remaining first round picks away. That is 4 or 5 years down the line for Cam Thomas, who can give you 20 points off your bench. So the Clippers, I think, are definitely a team to look out for
They a
Cam.
old team. They a
Yeah,
real
they need
old.
young. I mean, if you have Cam on that team, Scott, he's going to score more than Chris Paul, Brook Lopez, like some guys who are absolute studs in the NBA at one point. and they're all like, way past their prime. Like Cam would obviously give the Clippers something than what they're getting right now. I mean, you look at their offense right now. You take Kawhi Leonard and James Harden away, Scott. That team is barely playing worthy. Like that's how bad they are right now. And James Harden, is he going to be okay with this situation? But you know him. Once he don't feel like he's got backup, he might just cause a stir hornet's nest up there. So yeah, Cam Thomas could definitely help them. What they need right now, they need scoring.
Oh man, that's crazy. What about if they give Cam Thomas and Dayron for Zubac?
Nah, I don't see it. Zubats is so important to their team, man. Like that guy is so important. He's grown a lot on that team. They would be really bad without him. As far as players, like this might sound crazy, Scott, but maybe doing a Cam Thomas for Bradley Beal and the Clippers 2030 first round pick may not be a horrible deal. Both Beal and Thomas are making the same amount of money. Beal has an option for next year. It's only $5 million. And here's the thing: as much as Beal's career has really gone down the crapper, he is a vet, and maybe for the Nets, if they're trying to get back into something next year, maybe Beal is a vet that the Nets could utilize somewhat. He's only making $5 million. Not like they have to keep him long term, but if they could get a pick in this deal for Cam Thomas, that's the ultimate goal here. But to make salaries work, Beals is one of the only ones that matches Cam's salary, and the Clippers are a first apron team as well, so that has to be taken into consideration if they want to trade for Cam.
Damn, this is like looking at the union players. Like
Yo, oh, that's nasty.
these are union guys, man. These guys here are union guys. They old vets.
Harden is 36 years old and still putting up star numbers, but I don't think it's definitely a Harden vision. The Kawhi thing is so bad because, his thing with what he did with that organization, getting the money from, that's still being investigated, and now he's dealing with the injuries thing. Every time Kawhi gets injured, it's not a matter of days. It turns to a matter of weeks. And a guy like Harden, who doesn't like when his star players aren't doing their part, he could cause a stink. And then Chris Paul's not even playing. This guy signed on to his last year. He's not even playing him
Yeah, but they playing in
whatsoever.
California though. They like it out there.
Yeah, but Chris Paul's definitely
They
a guy that
like
gives you
living out there.
something off the bench.
They like California, man. They like California.
I heard a
It's
crazy
like a
thing.
retirement place.
I heard a crazy thing that the Clippers might try to trade for Davis. They might try to give away 2 picks, a combination of Bogdanovich and I think John Collins or something like that, another player for Anthony Davis. Now, does that make the Clippers better? Not really, because he's also very injury prone. It's almost like I'm replacing depth for more injury depth.
So they
Like,
get him. They get well. He's not really a center, but he's bigger. He's stronger. Anthony Davis is better around the rim than Collins.
yeah, but how is him and Zubac move? Can they move together on the
Right.
court? Can they
That's
be
what
in
I'm
sync?
saying.
Like that would be.
They got Brooke Lopez too.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I think for the Clippers, the end of the line for them. But here's the thing, though. I know in 2 years they're gonna have a lot of cap space. Steve Ballmer, is he just gonna keep paying stars to come here? Is he actually gonna invest in something? Because this is what the NBA was telling you. If you don't invest in a young core, this is what your future is. Relying on vets past their prime to carry you. Where the West is freaking crazy right now. This Clippers team is not going to catch up right now to OKC, to Denver, to Houston, to even the Lakers. Our Lakers are doing really well. Like the Clippers are just a middling playing team right now, so they got to make a decision soon on
Yeah,
what
they
they want to
three and
do.
seven.
Yeah. And OKC has the pick, which is just so worrisome. That is so worrisome right now.
Nuggets, Lakers, Spurs. Yeah, they're not catching up at all.
Yeah, so I wouldn't rule out a Cam Thomas trade to the Clippers just because they need offense. Like they need it badly right now. Their defense is horrible, but you could sometimes make up for horrible offense defense if your offense is good. And Cam, he played with Harden a while back. Harden was one of the guys he looked up to. So that's definitely a connection that I think should be explored as well. It's crazy enough. The Rockets with KD and the Clippers with Harden, both of them could use Cam right now for extra scoring depth. So it'll be very interesting to see what market Cam develops. But it's definitely not a crazy great market right now. I know that. So we will have to dampen our expectations. But the Clippers situation is an urgent one, I would say,
Well, the trade
considering
deadline is next month, right?
it starts on December 15th for guys
Right,
that
next
signed
month.
this past
Right.
summer. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's only a week or two away.
Yeah.
Realistically, Thanksgiving's about a week away, so 4 weeks, I would say, about 3 to 4 weeks. So it's
Yeah.
coming quick, and you can already see right now who's at the top. In the West, it's pretty obvious who's at the top and who's at the bottom. The Warriors, that is another team to look out for. They look old. They look unfocused. Kuminga was great, and now he's not. Like that is, and you hear about Brandon Pazinski? That kid said he wanted to take Curry's job as the face of the NBA. Like that is a team that is going through some dysfunction right now, and
Yeah.
we've seen it the last few years. Can they still build around Curry? I'm not seeing it. Not seeing it right now.
I'm not seeing it either.
And Al Horford, your starting center. I mean, Scott, no disrespect to Horford, but that's your starting center. Sheesh.
Yeah.
Man, like he's a great backup center, but to have him as your starter and have Draymond as your backup, I don't get that. I don't think that makes any sense.
I don't know. I mean, Al. How old is Al?
No,
He's
Al is a solid backup, but he already as a starter, this guy's missed a lot of games. He's not playing no back to backs, which they said. So, their depth chart really is, I wouldn't say that balanced. And I think the Warriors, they're gonna have to trade Kuminga this upcoming winter. I know they wanted to potentially keep him and salvage that relationship. I don't think there's nothing to salvage there. That guy wanted big star money, didn't get it. He's their best asset to get something because if they're a playing team by December, they got to get what they can for Kuminga at that point. If they're still committed to this Curry, Draymond, Jimmy thing, which I think might be over in a year after this.
I think the Warriors think they have a decent team.
I don't know. Their team might make a big move. They're a team I've heard that might be in the market for Anthony Davis. They have the
They
pieces.
might be. They
They
might
have
be.
they have Kuminga, and here's a crazy thing: would they entertain the idea of trading Draymond
No,
for
I don't think
Anthony
that.
Davis?
They're
I
not going
mean,
to do it. They're not
I
going to
mean,
do that.
you'd have to match the salary. That's the thing, and Davis make a
Yeah.
lot of money. But Kuminga would definitely be in that package, and maybe Moses Moody, um, Buddy Hield. Like you'd have to give up a good amount of your debt to get Davis, but he definitely could play the four, and then you have Horford at the five, which would give the Warriors something. I don't know if it makes them crazy better though, because they have a very old core right now, and the young guys are not really stepping up. So yeah, they're definitely a team that could make. I
They
don't know if
just.
they will. Would the
I'm just
Warriors be
saying
interested in
they just
Claxton
have. They have one of those teams you don't want to see in the playoffs.
in the playoffs? Yes, but you got to get to the playoffs, and I don't
I
think they're
think they're
getting.
gonna make the
They're barely getting
playoffs.
to playing right now.
I think they get in the playoffs.
Do you think they would have interest in Nick Claxton for a particular chance? Like, I think they need another athletic big, and Claxton maybe could fit that role. Alongside Curry, alongside Butler. Like, would they be willing to entertain a deal with us? Maybe.
The thing is, I the Nets need number one picks. They don't need no more number twos. They don't need no two picks. We
I
got
think the Warriors have a few
so
picks.
many two second round picks.
Well, if
We
you
got
trade,
a we
I
got a
think Claxton
lot
is
of
worth the
second
first
round
right
picks.
now. I think Claxton is worth the first round. I even say the Bulls are a team to look out for. They have Vucevic. I've
Yeah,
heard a trade rumor of Vucevic, who's on an expiring contract, and a Bulls pick for Claxton. I'll do that. I mean, I don't
yeah,
think the Bulls are anywhere close to championship team. Yeah, they won a few games, but clearly you're seeing they're not a championship team whatsoever. But if they want to think they are, wink,
yeah,
wink, I'll give you Claxton for Vucevic and a pick. That is a great deal for the Brooklyn Nets. I got free cap space and another pick. That's a
right.
solid deal. Like Claxton has put himself in a great position for us to get at least a first round draft pick this upcoming
Yeah,
deadline, which we got to take what we can get at this point, and that's a good get for us with
yeah,
Claxton.
yeah. That wouldn't be bad. I mean, I don't know, but anyway, let me get ready to get off, John. I had a good time with you talking about the
Good
Nets.
discussions always, Scott.
Um, don't forget to like and subscribe. John, where they can reach you at?
If you want to talk fun basketball with me, you can find me on Twitter at everythingbknhjohn. Heavy on Twitter. I have a lot of good Brooklyn conversations. And, whether you like my content or disagree with my content, you still respond to my content.
Right.
So
Leave a
let's keep that
message, right?
going.
Yeah, keep it going.
But thanks for having me on, Scott.
No
Thanks for having me
problem,
on.
John. Thank you. Like and subscribe. It's your boy Scott Lewis, Apartment Gamer and More, Brooklyn Nets Stoop Edition. See y'all later.